Joining us live now is Australian Retailers Association CEO Paul Zahra. Paul, thank you for your time. How has Omicron impacted the retail industry? What's been the biggest challenge?
Well, look, it's been around staff shortages, the biggest issues, and no one would expect that COVID would be a trilogy, but we've entered uncharted territory now. If I just wind back slightly, in November, the retail industry posted the most significant sales gain at 5.8% increase. December looks like it may have held up quite well. We've had a bit of a peek at the numbers and they should be released shortly. But January, we've completely fallen off a cliff. Small business has been absolutely decimated. And of course, we don't have the business support or the government support that we've had in the past, and that's causing major pains. And whilst we've got a low unemployment rate, many staff, in some cases, the majority of staff in some of our retail stores have staff in isolation due to close contact requirements. So we're at a crisis stage, I would say.
So looking at the numbers, what were you forecasting for January and beyond, and what's the reality been?
Well, January numbers were actually planned to be buoyant. And in fact, we expected that we were going to have a record Christmas, which those numbers haven't been released yet. It was around $60 billion. We think we'll get pretty close to that once they're finalised. January was equally going to be quite a significant continuing of trade because, of course, we've just come out of lockdown in November. There's this built up cash savings in people's bank accounts. And there's a real genuine want to be out and about and people want to spend. But of course, Omicron has destroyed all of that. And what we're seeing now is shopping centres empty, CBDs are completely desolate, and we are seeing small business being particularly hit really hard.
And it's just so hard to see, especially after the last 2 years, seeing shop doors completely closed and to see them being forced to be closed because of staff shortages during what's meant to be a busy time of year is really difficult. Look, you're calling on the government to commit to 6 areas. One of them is access to rapid antigen tests. How would that help you?
Well, of course, we give people confidence. So if they're able to do a test and know that they've got a negative test, they can return to work. We need the isolation requirements also, the exemptions extended to include all the frontline staff and our retail network completely, particularly in general retail that has got no protections right now. So it's it's required across the board, but the RATs would make a significant difference and give confidence to employees and employers that they're able to work.
And so you've mentioned there the close contact isolation exemption, also access to skilled staff. You'd like to see more skilled migrants back in Australia?
Oh, absolutely. So look, it's been a perfect storm. So often you'll be seeing that when you walk into a supermarket, the shelves are absolutely, many cases, bare. And whilst the supermarkets are doing their absolute best to get stock to the shelves, in many cases, just because of the lack of staff, the merchandise may be available, but they don't have the staff to put the merchandise in place, either get it delivered to the store or equally put it on the shelves. So we do need a backup. We have relied in the past during these peak times through November, December and January, because it's the summer period, of course, and Christmas, we've relied heavily on skilled migrants and supplementing our workforce from people overseas. So that's a really important and quite a void currently in our shortage of staff.
And retail isn't the only industry. You've also teamed up with Restaurant and Catering Australia. Tourism and Transport Forum are also calling for this 6-point plan. What are they saying to you?
Well, the same. We've got the same issues. We're all consumer facing, and of course, people, that are visiting the country want to be able to shop and eat out, and of course, tourism, shopping, and restaurants. Dining in a restaurant sit hand in hand quite comfortably. It's the same consumer doing all of those things. So we're working together. We represent at least about 2.5 million workers. We want to make sure that the government does take this seriously. It's a critical time now as we're seeing the sales completely fall off and the restaurants particularly being hit hard because of Omicron, that we can work together to find a solution.
We have to leave it there. Paul Zahra, thanks so much for your time this evening.